Yeah!
Yeah.
Get excited, everybody. It is a trifecta of combat loveliness, I guess we'll say. Getting ready to kick off. We got UFC Vegas 93, headlined by Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Taira. We got the trilogy, this time in the boxing ring between Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen. And then over in Las Vegas, Nevada, we got Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. So much combat going on, and we're here to talk about all of these events and much more with all of you as we welcome you to the People's Pre-Fight Show. I am Mike Heck here in hot and steamy South Carolina and in hot and steamy Las Vegas, although he wouldn't know it because he's just living the life right now at the MGM Grand, getting ready for Tank v. Martin. He is the one and only EKC Leydon. I don't even think he could swing a chair today, but there he is. Look at that. It just looks so magical. MGM Grand.
I love it.
How about it?
I love the MGM Grand. I wish the UFC would bring back events here, but boxing gets it. It's its 100th, apparently it's 100th boxing event, MGM Grand. And so it's been a big celebration. A lot of, like right across the hallway, there's a big kind of museum with the famous posters and pictures from all the kind of the famous 100 fight cards they've had here. So it's an awesome time. And I'm here, but we're here to talk about all the combat sports, not just, boxing.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited.
Yes, fisticuffs, feet-a-cuffs, knee-a-cuffs, elbow-cuffs, all the cuffs. We could discuss that. We could talk about these events. I mean, the news cycle's been a little wild, so I assume there's going to be questions about that said cycle of news. You know how this works. Chuck your questions in the chat. We'll pull them up. We'll discuss. We'll go for about a half an hour or 27:14. And as soon as the UFC event begins, we will bounce out and then just stick with us at MMAfighting.com all night long because we got people everywhere. We got Casey in Vegas. We got our own Guilherme Cruz in Brazil. Because if you're in the United States, you cannot watch Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. But luckily, we're going to be one of the only people covering this wonderful sport that is going to have live results, play-by-play for the main event, live blog, all of it. It's going to be awesome. So stick with us. We have you covered with all things. So let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear what you want to know. What you got? What takes you may have.
I don't even know what this is even about, but maybe you know.
Okay. Thoughts on Dana White's comments about McGregor on Sports Business Journal? Yes, Dana White's favorite website, Sports Business Journal. Is this the... Let me see. Dana White says... Let's see. Let's pull it up. It's been interesting because we had to switch the Saudi main event, which is next weekend. Let's see. What about Conor? I don't see anything about Conor.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it. We'll find it. I mean, Jesus. Oh, maybe this is what I'm looking for here. It's okay, I found it. Shout out MMA Mania, our family website. He said about this, it's the businessman. This is the way it goes. And from here on, I'm not going to talk about it until when he's healed and he's right. Then we'll look at the landscape and see what we can figure out, was the comment.
It's the businessman? What?
It's the business, man.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha,
the
sorry.
Man. It's the way it goes. And from here on, I'm not going to talk about it until when he's healed and he's right. Then we'll look at the landscape and see what we can figure out. So we've gone all the way back to like January with this whole situation when it comes to Dana.
Wow. So okay, so Dana's not going to talk about it. I guess no questions about Conor until he's ready. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. First of all, Dana White is not going to be at the world's most famous Apex tonight answering any questions. So that's for damn sure. Secondly, he's probably going to be in Boston for Game 5 on Monday, so that's when we'll see him again, and then he'll probably head to Saudi after that. So there you go. That's his comments. I think that's what you're talking about, Joseph.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
He loves the Sports Business Journal. Absolutely loves them. Anyone else think it's too much UFC these days? It's so funny. Somebody on Instagram DM'd me a comment from the preview show and basically said, if you have a negative thing to say about a UFC card, then you're a casual. You should just appreciate all of the fights as they happen. No need to demand more of the best organization in the world that provides you combat sports. We just should accept everything as the greatest thing ever assembled. It's hilarious to me. Like so clearly my response to this person who sent me this screenshot was like, this person's only been watching MMA for like 3 months or 6 months, because clearly they have not been down. They were not a fan in 2016 when things were at their peak and every friggin' thing on earth happened that could possibly happen. This person was not around for 2016. Probably weren't around for 2017, 2018, 2019. Probably weren't even around for the pandemic in 2020 when the sport really changed forever. Probably just jumped on board right before UFC 300 and threw that out there. So they haven't experienced the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows.
What type? I'm thinking of that comment. Is there any aspect of that comment would actually make sense? Like if you're talking about like darts, I don't know. Understand? Like I don't. Like I'm just trying to like what frame, what kind of subject matter would that comment actually go? Okay, I get that. Like we're not talking about like this is prize fighting. This is a business. This is $1 billion business. There's good things happen, bad things happen. Sport gets better, sport gets worse. You know, I don't get it. Yeah, that's just so.
Yeah, it's craziness. But that DM reminded me of this question. But is it too much UFC these days?
Yes. I think there's too much. I think there's too much UFC, not enough MMA. If that makes sense. I would like to see more, basically more competition. I would like to see I'd like to see a real number 2, you know, and a real number 2 will make the UFC better. And without a real number 2, UFC can do whatever they want.
Yep.
And and now I do wonder how. I think I brought this up on BTL, but like how long can they do this for? How long can they put on lackluster name value? I'm not talking quality of fights, but name value like of fight nights, and then maybe maybe lackluster pay-per-views. Like how long would the UFC keep going up? Because we always say UFC can't do it wrong. They're on fire. But eventually, at what point will it start leveling out and maybe go the other way? Because forever we used to say, MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world, but we're not saying that anymore. Now we just say, okay, it's here, it's a sport now. But like,
and it's huge.
And it's huge, but every sport's got its highs and lows. So I just kind of wonder, but we're gonna be here the whole time.
Yeah, man. I think you essentially answered your own question. Until there's a number 2, they ain't gonna slow down at all. Here's the thing about what the UFC is doing, because they're printing money and they literally can do no wrong right now. They are growing their fan base so rapidly, even now. Like it's getting to the point where like they don't care about us. Like they don't. The ones who have been there for all these years, for a decade, that watch everything anyways, like they do not care about us at all. Once in a while they do. I think UFC 300 was kind of like a gift to us, like the hardcore fan who has been there for day one. And that's why we're the ones that were like, this is the greatest fight card top to bottom we've ever seen. While others were like, oh, it's like a 3-fight card. It's a 4-fight card. But the way that they are presenting themselves, the way they are setting up media, I mean, you look at like Nina Drama, who I'm not here to dump on her. She's done a tremendous job of like helping the UFC bring in new people, and their relationships with Nelk and the relationships with Barstool. These are brilliant people to work with if you're the UFC, because you're bringing in new fans who have the takes of, well, if you don't watch every single card and appreciate it for being spectacular, then you're a casual, which is ridiculous take. But these are the takes we're going to continue to get from those types of fans. So the way the UFC is positioning is they're not caring about the longtime fan. They're caring about the new fan, growing the fan base. And guess what? Good on them, because it's working. It is absolutely working. But to answer the actual question from this individual here, yeah, it's been too much for like 2 years now. But it doesn't matter, because we're all here, we're all covering it. Just take a week off a month, man. 3 events a month. It's fine. Like Jed laid it out perfectly. You could do a pay-per-view, you do a fight night on the road, and then you could do an Apex card. Like, that's the schedule. Just do one of each a month, boom, and then you take a week off. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
And then you have your contender series, tough, whatever, kind of in the middle of the week. You know, your Tuesdays and
Looking
Thursdays
for a
or whatever.
fight, all of those
fight.
things.
That kind of fills in between, but yeah. But yes, there's too much, but they're making money, so cool. All right, got some super chats.
Kenny Powers, what up? Does Carly Judice get the upset today? I'm picking her. I'm picking her to win.
I know nothing about her.
She is fun as hell. Like, I don't know if she's good, but she is like fun, man. She reminds me of, like, I think it's a little lower level at this point, but she's still pretty young. She reminds me of like when Macy Barber came into the UFC. Like, she's just a specimen, man. She is a hoss. She throws with reckless abandon, and she just gets after it, man. Like, she's very, very fun to watch. She is the underdog. She is fighting somebody who's pretty solid. So this is definitely this has got to be her toughest matchup to this point. But if she can go out there and have a really fun performance and win, I think if there's one fighter on this card who can go from like unknown to, oh, I'm pretty excited to see her again, it's her. Like, I think she could be not like a breakout star of this event, but she could be somebody that people are going to be talking about when this event is over if she could win tonight.
Now,
she is that fun.
What am I missing? Why did the UFC sign her? She's coming off a loss on Contender Series. Am I missing? And her three.
So this was
and she was only 3-0, and her opponents do not seem to have good records coming into that Contender Series fight. So I'm just kind of wondering why she was signed.
So this is one of those things where I want to say this was like one of those fights where the judges were because she lost to Splitty, right?
Yeah, that's what it says. I didn't watch the fight, so
it was a really fun fight. This is with Carcadi, I think.
Ernesta Carcadi, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
it was one of those. They beat the shit out of each other. It was great.
I remember.
But it was one of those situations where
I remember opponent's first fight in the UFC. It was fun, but she lost. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where like Dana felt like Carly won, and the fight was so good that he just gave them both contracts.
Okay. Was it one of those Contender Series cards where like literally every winner and a couple of losers were signed? One of those.
I don't know, but it was one of those things where like I was actually okay with it. I was like, that fight ruled, and I actually thought she won when I remember watching it live, like because it was like a year ago when it happened. But
yeah,
let's go and see the event. One contract. So this is a Contender Series card where Danny Barlow got his contract, and then two fighters who fought each other both got contracts. Even the losing fighter. They were the only, and those are the 5 contracts. Judice is one, and then Danny Silva and Angel Pacheco. And there's Angel Pacheco, who is a fine fighter, Minnesota guy, did not do well in his UFC debut. Basically got a contract because he took an absolute beating on the Contender Series. Like, a beating. Yeah. Danny Silva just like lit him up and got a contract because he toughed it out.
Okay. I'm still not used. I mean, I know it's happening now. I know it's a normal occurrence now, but like UFC signing fighters off losses. That's just like, back in my day, that was just unheard of. You couldn't get signed to UFC unless you had at least like a 3-4 fight winning streak, against high level regional competition. And now we got guys getting signed because they can get beat up really excitingly, which is cool. That's good. I'm happy for them. I'm still getting used to this new UFC, So
Yeah.
Here we are.
I don't want to go on my rant about the. I remember the old days of the Contender Series,
Yeah.
but man, I miss the old days of the Contender Series so much.
Yeah, I'm trying not to go there too, but I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I don't want to be the curmudgeon-y MMA fan.
All right, thank you much.
Casey and I used to watch the events. We had to go uphill both ways.
Yeah.
No shoes on. Like, that's how it was back then. If you had to give, this is a great question from Fahim. If you had to give advice to Michael Chandler, what would it be? So if you guys were not aware, Michael Chandler is not fighting Conor McGregor on June 29th. And there's
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. That fight's not happening. We've seen Mike kind of collab with people on a statement and say a few things. Conor McGregor had his own statement today, which he released on Instagram and on Twitter. Michael Chandler responded to Conor statement and said, "No hard feelings, heal up. My heart is full. See you soon." And then laid out official statement. "I'm here just as in 2009 when I started, the most reliable man in MMA. See you when I see you." So it seems like he is holding out hope that this fight still happens. There's a lot of reports out there, Ariel being one of them, saying that this fight could happen August, September-ish, or September, October-ish, somewhere around there. That whatever the injury is, still undisclosed at this point, it sucks, but it's not super duper serious, and it's something he can't come back from and fight in the next few months. So does Michael Chandler go along for this ride one more time and hope that he gets to fight Conor this year? Or would you give him advice? Basically, Michael Chandler called you right now, Casey. Said, "Look, you're an undefeated MMA savage, Casey. And, you're this new breed of fighter. What would you do if you were me? What would you do? Would you wait for the red panty night, or would you go elsewhere at this point? What would you advise Michael to do?"
Take a easy fight. Don't fight anyone in the top 10. Maybe fight like someone like a Jalen Turner or something. Not easy.
Oh.
That's not easy. But I don't know. I'm just fight someone that's not like. Well, I guess Conor's not there either. So I'm not trying. I think you have to fight. You just have to fight. I mean, maybe be picky who your opponent. Yeah, maybe an RDA. Be picky who your opponent is. Don't. I don't know. Like take a fight that on paper looks like a pretty, easy win, and just get out there, make a check, and keep your name out there. I don't know if the UFC would give you that type of fight, but that's the fight I think you should take. I think like in boxing they would, something like that. Just a stay busy fight. But UFC especially doesn't really do stay busy fights. But that's my advice. I don't like the idea he's just sitting there doing nothing. Well, I know he's training, but you gotta, like, dude, like, what are you doing? I don't know. Like, what's the breaking point? 6 more months?
I mean, look, it seems like they're hopeful for like September, October, but there are issues with waiting at this point, because while everybody seems to sort of be on the same page with doing September, October, there are no spots for it right now. And as Ariel has been reporting on Twitter today, the only way they can make this timeline happen that makes everybody happy is if they create an extra pay-per-view. And I don't know where and how they're going to do that. I mean, the UFC can do it. They're the UFC. But they're not going to do Conor and Chandler in Perth. They're not going to do it at the Sphere, which, I mean, at this point, you probably should just do it at the friggin' Sphere. Why the hell not?
Yeah, why not the Sphere? Why is that off the table?
I don't know.
Any reason?
I don't know. Because they have, I mean,
awesome.
Look, they have other plans for the Sphere. but you could probably move those other plans, I would think. Plus, the
Yeah,
Sphere doesn't, as cool as the Sphere is, it's not like you could fit 20,000 people in the Sphere. It's probably like 7 or 8,000 people. So you lose out on, you can still get a cool gate being there and then still get a Connor gate on top of that, which is how the UFC likes to think about these situations. But then what do? They're not going to do it in Abu Dhabi. That makes no sense. They have to go to Salt Lake City at some point. Doing that fight in Salt Lake City is dumb. It doesn't make any sense. So they have to like create another pay-per-view, do it in Vegas to do it. Now, do you push it to MSG? And then what do you do with John Jones? Who wants to fight at MSG? Do we wait till December now? Like, what do we do?
We're not 100% John Jones is fighting then too. I mean, we don't like, dude. Connor and John Jones, they're both past their primes. They're older fighters now who have lots of wear and tear on them, in the cage and out of the cage, to be honest. And these guys are going to be getting injured as they get older more and more. Everyone's like, Connor never pulls out of fights. That's what we said about John Jones just a few months ago. John Jones never pulls out of fights. When he signs a contract, he fights. And then he gets injured. And that was John Jones' first time pulling out of a fight due to injury. When he had his shoulder injury. Yeah, that's what, I'm talking about injury. Connor too. You know, he's had to be, well, we're not gonna get into all that.
200. But, the 200 press conference thing. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I would just. Why? Oh, because they have egos, the whole MSG thing. I don't think John's gonna fight in November. I don't know. Just.
You don't think so?
There's the MGM Grand right here. This thing's available a lot of weekends. Just put Connor in there.
God, that would be the best.
You know the last Connor fight that was here? Connor versus Nate Diaz. And that was freaking amazing. It was right there. Right there. I see it. So, like, just do it. Like they can do the fight. They can make it happen. But Chandler can't wait anymore. Into the summer. That has to be the deadline for Chandler. I don't know.
In terms of, like, this fight getting officially announced again, it needs to be, like, by 3:04. Like, by the end of July, he needs to know that he's fighting Connor or he's not fighting him. And then if he's not, if they have not announced a date, he needs to move on, man. He needs to go fight somebody else. Because Chandler has been a company guy. They love him. Everybody that the UFC would like fighters, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, Trump loves Chandler. Like, everybody that the UFC loves Chandler. Like, he's in a good spot in terms of how they view him, and he's sacrificed a lot, and he's been along for this ride this entire time, even though Chandler is a freaking competitor. So even if he doesn't get this Connor fight, they're still going to give him something big. Like, they're still going to give him a big fight. So, but I think at this point, like, you've already spent so much time. If it's like, all right, I'll give it 4 more months, and if I haven't fought him in 4 months, then we're done. Like, let's go somewhere else. Like, Dustin Poirier just got a title shot after beating Benoit Saint-Denis. So, like, if timing adds up in Chandler's favor, he could just fight like a killer, and if he wins, like, he could just find his way in a title fight despite getting submitted in his last fight like a year and a half ago. That's just how the business is right now. It's wild.
I don't know. In my stupid world, I would have had Connor fight Joaquin Buckley at 303.
Like, I would have to quit the business if that happened. I would have to leave. I would have to take a 6-month sabbatical if fucking Joaquin Buckley got the Conor fight.
Just because, I love the chaos.
I would fly to freaking St. Louis right now and be like, yo, Joaquin, my bad, man. Like, you're a genius.
I just want that fight book just so I can see you talk. Just to have you and Jed just talk about it forever.
And I will not make. I will. My heart will be on my sleeve. I will make no excuse. I'll be like, damn, dude, my takes suck. I have to really evaluate what I'm trying to do with my life right now.
All right, thank you for the question.
Thank you. It's a great question. Last stand, excluding the main event, who has the most to gain on this card with the win? What event are you talking about? I assume the UFC card.
I assume.
There's so much happening right now. Let's see.
Let me look.
The most to gain. Jesus, man. I don't know.
Must have gained. I mean, I would actually say maybe Carly in a weird way, coming off a loss. I mean, just in the sense that she's kind of a no one right now in the flyweight division, and all of a sudden with a big win, she's something. I mean, I don't know. Otherwise, this is just people. There's nothing. I don't know. There's nothing on the card.
I mean, the answer was clear yesterday, but now the fight's not happening. Josh Van was probably the answer.
Yeah, Josh
fighting
Van.
Ulanbekov, but then Ulanbekov decided, you know what, I'm just gonna miss weight by 3.5 pounds. Like, it's like if Almabayev can have like a fun submission, like if you can go out. I mean, Jose Johnson's probably not a bad answer. Him coming in. I mean, Jed Meshew for like an entire week was like, guys, this fight's not happening because Jose Johnson's gonna blow weight because he's 6 feet tall, and then he makes weight, and he's a huge underdog, one of the biggest underdogs on the card. And if he can go out there and beat a really good dude, like he gains a pretty good amount, especially from the hardcore fan base if he does that. I mean, Weston Wilson has to be fighting for his job, although maybe not, because I'm stunned he's still even fighting in the UFC after his performances, because he's been so it's like scary to watch him in there at this point. So the answer is really, God, I don't know. Like, there's just no stakes at all anymore. Like, Aliskerov, like, I was super excited to watch because he had a fight that he was going to look incredible in, but now he's going to go fight Bobby Knuckles next weekend, which I'm super happy about and super excited to watch. Yeah, I'll say, you know what? I'll say Garrett Armfield, because I think there's something with him, as you know, Casey. Like, I've been high on him for a while. Even when we did the People's Pre-Fight Show, stepped in on like less than a week's notice, up a weight class to fight David Onama. And he actually like held his own. He got stopped in that fight, but he was like a very tiny man compared to David Onama, and took the fight on super short notice and lost, but hung in there, and he's looked real good ever since. Beat Brad Katona in his last fight, and looking to keep the train rolling at 135. So maybe him. I mean, he's a minus 230 favorite to win, but maybe him. I feel like he's getting a little bit of buzz right now. He's got a cool. He's showing up on Twitter these days, and people are starting to dig it, just having fun with the peeps. So I'll say him, but there really is. It's a tough one. I don't know what the people are saying, but without Josh Van not fighting anymore, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I'm looking at this card. This has to be the lowest fighter payout maybe ever for a UFC card.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right.
Just saying. But yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough.
All right. We got a question from our good friend Akitas Jr.
Let's see. Which upset would surprise you the most? Has the most to lose on the boxing matches tonight? Not Chael versus Silva.
Which upset?
What upset would surprise you? If Benavidez lost, that would probably be the most shocking. Like Frank Martin wins, I'll be like, holy shit! Like,
Frank Martin's
see
good.
that coming?
He's just maybe not a big name, but he's obviously very good. But Benavidez losing, Benavidez.
Oh yeah, by a mile.
Yeah,
that'd be a stunner.
That'd be a stunner. Yeah, you're kind of basically you're paying to watch Benavidez do work tonight. And Tank and Martin should be a good fight, competitive fight. You know, I mean, I think most people are picking Tank, but we think it's going to be competitive. But Benavidez should be just, he should work his opponent. Just show it should be a highlight reel. So if he loses tonight, that'll be shocking.
Yeah, so, I agree. Even though somehow Tank is a bigger favorite than Benavidez, not by much, but he's a bigger favorite, which is crazy.
All right,
Travone, what's Bisping's problem, and why is he acting like he wasn't talking completely trashing Ariel? I don't know, man.
That was weird.
If you listen to
that was weird.
Super weird.
Did you see?
So did you see everything?
I only saw what Ariel put on his stories. I didn't really go deep. I didn't do a deep dive, but I saw kind of Ariel's kind of thing.
Okay, so Bisping did another episode of his pod that I believe it dropped yesterday, and he started the show off with the same producer that they both just shit on Ariel pretty bad. And Bisping's like, oh, I was taking the piss out of you. Like, just basically like, I was kidding around. Ariel, you're great at your job. Because, obviously it got back to him that Ariel was kind of dumping on him on his live stream. And Ariel has every right to do that, in my opinion. And Bisping was just like, nah, I was just kidding. I didn't mean anything that I said. Just a bad look, man. Like we just mentioned with the Joaquin Buckley situation. Like, I would look like an absolute moron if Joaquin Buckley got that fight. Like, I would truly look like an idiot. But I wouldn't be like, I was just joking, Joaquin. I was just joking. I'd literally go to Joaquin and be like, yo, my bad. You rule. I'm a moron. You're the best. I'm the worst. Like, basically what Happy Gilmore said to Chubbs to get him to, like, teach him how to play golf again after abandoning him to go join the pro tour is basically how I would talk to Joaquin Buckley. So the fact that Bisping didn't even apologize on his show is wild. I said on Heck of a Morning, Bisping should go on the broadcast tonight when they show the UFC 303 graphic and they talk about this for the first time during a fight card. Bisping should drop Ariel's name and say sorry to him there. And then it'd be like, all right, that's hand up. That's a good move right there. Because the UFC would be so pissed if he did that, and Dana would be livid if he did that, and that would be a ballsy-ass move, and that would show that he truly cares and that he is sorry. But him coming on and be like, I was just kidding, Ariel. You're the man. You're good at your job. Been telling you that forever is not the way to go about this. It's awful.
Yeah, so, you can, make little jokes at Ariel, but don't attack his journalistic integrity. That's you'll get. Yeah, he'll bite back. He'll bite back.
He's on a show just speculating, just for views and clicks. Like, it was so bad, man. He's had a tough go. Go.
That's when you're podcasting a little too much. You've run out of things to say. Just pull it back a little bit. Less is more, Mike.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes, I agree.
Just a quick comment.
Dave Benavidez losing is not a surprise, by the way. This fight is pretty much casual test, and your debut up a weight class is tough.
Yeah. I mean, he is going up a weight class, and
it would be
you're 7 pounds, I think. Yeah.
So if he goes out there and just styles on Benavidez, you'd be like, yeah, man, saw that one coming. I don't think anybody would say that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would say that. This is just me personally. I'd be more surprised if Benavidez lost than if Tank lost. But maybe not everybody feels that way. Yeah. I mean, the betting community certainly doesn't feel that way, but I think stylistically this just matches up really well for Benavidez, and Jose is like way deeper in the boxing world than I am, and he agrees with that. So I'll take his word for it. But we'll see. Maybe I'm stupid and no idea what I'm talking about.
Let's see if you can answer this with just a yes or no question. Yes or no answer.
Do you think Conor will ever be back?
Yes or no?
Yes. I think he fights this year.
We're going this year?
I think he fights this year. I think it happens.
I'm going no for this year. Yes, he will be back, though, but no for this year.
Okay.
All right.
I hope one of us is right.
Yeah.
You got anything else, or should we go to picks?
I think we're good. Let's go to picks.
All right, let's go to picks. We'll be bragging about these picks throughout the night on our MMA Fighting Slack channel. We'll do our main card predictions. We will begin with the welterweight division. We will begin with two gentlemen who you may or may not know. Josh Quinlan, the -130 favorite, taking on Adam Fugit, who comes back at +110 as the underdog. Casey, who do you think wins this fight?
I'm going Josh Quinlan, first round knockout.
Oh, hey. I'm picking Fugit, first round knockout. I do not have a side on this fight. I was on No Bets Barred, so I do have some bets down. My violence parlay has dwindled down a little bit once Ikram Aliskerov left the card. I have these two going under 2.5, with Saragi Wilson going under 1.5 for the now two-legger violence parlay, which is like plus 110 right now. So there you have it. That fight is going to be fun for as long as it lasts. We go to the flyweights. We have the aforementioned Asu Almabayev, the big favorite, minus 410, taking on Jose Johnson, big underdog, coming back at plus 320. I'm going Asu Almabayev, first round submission.
I'm going Asu, third round submission.
All right. We go to the bantamweight. Should be a fun one. Garrett Armfield, the minus 230 favorite. He will fight Brady Heistand, who comes back at plus 190 if you watch the MMA Hour. Juliana Pena on her Parlay Pals pick chose the big underdog, Brady Heistand, to get it done. I believe they're either current or former teammates. Do you side with Juliana Pena here, or do you think Garrett Armfield keeps the train rolling?
I absolutely do not side with Juliana Pena here. Garrett by dominant fight. He'll win the fight dominantly, but he'll finish it with a third round KO.
Oh, okay. I think it's gonna be a fun fight. I think Brady Heistand is pretty good. So, but I still think Armfield wins. I think his striking is really good. Armfield's going to get taken down in this fight. It's just a matter of how quick he can get up. But I think his get up game is pretty solid. So give me Garrett Armfield by decision. 29-28 across the board in what should be a fun competitive fight. Let's go to Timothy Kawamba at featherweight. He is the minus 192 favorite. Takes on Lucas Almeida, who comes back at plus 160. Who do you got here, Casey?
I'm going on this one. I'm just going on vibes because I like saying Timmy Kawamba. So I'm going Timmy Kawamba decision.
There you go. By the way, I have a heavy favorite parlay as well, which also I lost a leg on because of Vikram Aliskerov. Almabayev is part of that big parlay, of the big favorite parlay. I also have Almabayev Johnson under 2.5, so I have that as just a single play. I have Garrett Armfield. I got him at minus 175. I'm actually going with the dog here.
Good.
I'm going with Lucas Almeida to get it done. I think it's a close fight. I think there's value on Almeida. I know he's lost a couple, but dude's been in there with some really good cats. And there's no shame getting finished by Andre Fili. It just really is no shame in that. And Kawamba I don't think Kawamba has fought the same level of competition, or, to be frank, as talented as he is, even close to it. So I'm taking a dog shot on Almeida, and we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens as we head to the... This is the co-main event. Jesus.
Yeah.
Miles Johns, Casey, the minus 162 favorite, taking on the nearly 40-year-old Douglas Silva de Andrade, who comes back at plus 136. Who do you got here?
Miles Johns, second round knockout.
Oh, okay. Miles Johns, decision. It just screams decision. And then we go to the main event, big one at 125. Alex Perez, one-time title challenger, coming off a huge win. Plus 185 underdog, taking on the surging, undefeated Tatsuro Taira, who is the favorite at minus 225. I said it on the previous show. I'll just knock it out right now. I have Tatsuro Taira, second round submission as far as the bets go. I had got Taira at minus 180. And I have this fight going under 2.5 at plus 114.
I am going the prospect, Tatsu Taira, with a round 4 submission victory over Alex Perez, putting him solidly in the top 10 and in the mix, as they say, after tonight.
Do you have a prediction for Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen?
Ooh. The fans win.
Yes. I was going to say, I'm quoting the show How I Met Your Mother. I think they will end the fight tied at fun to fun.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to go. And
but doesn't it feel, but real quick on the Anderson Chael thing, would it feel weird if one of them got really slept bad? I don't know. I kind of don't want to see. I want to see him punch each other hard.
You can't do it. Yeah, you can't. I can't see. I can't live in a world where Anderson just melts Chael, like in front of his kid. Like that just seems mean and ruthless. It would be the most gangster thing ever if he did that, but it would just feel wrong to some degree, considering the build to this fight has just been like positive and fun. Like, I think Jed kind of nailed it. I hope this is like Rocky versus Thunder Lips from Rocky 3, where it's just like fun. Maybe maybe Chael gets a takedown or something, and they have a good time. That's what I hope this is.
I think so too.
Maybe they'll just beat the shit out of each other. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe like.
Can you imagine if Chael goes in for like a fake love touch and then he just knocks him out? It's like 6
Takes his glove off and pours out all the rocks. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be wow. That would be wild. It'd be such a Chael thing. And then, does Frank Martin get done, or are you going with Tank here?
I am going with Tank, but I think the first 4 rounds are going to be pretty fun. Yeah. And then something's going to happen, and then Tank does Tank things. But I think Frank Martin's going to he's going to look like he belongs in there, but I still think it's going to be Tank's night tonight.
Yeah. I think Tank gets him out of there in like round 10, something like that. But I think it's going to be pretty competitive early, and yeah, it should be fun. Casey, enjoy it, my man. Enjoy the festivities. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy the MGM Grand. I know I'm enjoying it just looking at it on half of my screen right now.
And they just brought the catering. The catering is here now. So I'm about to get my medium meal.
Is it delicious catering?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oscar Willis from the Mac Life is sitting right in front of me. He's on his second. This is his second plate now already. It's amazing.
Can we get a cameo?
No,
we get a full cameo. No cameo. Okay.
Oscar, can we get it quick? Can I get it quick?
Where is he? The legend. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Look at this guy.
What's up?
You're talking to Mike Heck right now.
Hello, Mike Heck. How are you? I can't hear you, but I assume you're doing well.
I'm doing spectacular, Oscar.
Yeah, he said you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a dude. What a cameo. No better way to end it than that. For Casey, I am Mike Heck. Enjoy the fights, everybody. Stick with us, MMAfighting.com. We'll see you for the post-fight show a little bit later on tonight. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.